You're listening to Polymatic.media, episode 40, June 3rd, 2018. Welcome to the Polymaticast. Hey, John, how's it going?
Pretty good. What about you?
Yeah, it's doing okay. It's getting a little hot around here.
Tell me about it. It's about 90 degrees in here.
Yeah. I'm having the luxury of it being somewhere in the high 70 in Fahrenheit. 78, I think, is when I last looked. Though I haven't gone outside, there's this weird factor where sometimes it's supposed to be cooler in the house, and then I go outside and it's like, hey, wait, it's nicer out here. So,
yeah, it's nicer outside too.
Yeah,
but,
so despite
just in here, I've been rendering some stuff, and that's been blowing all the heat into my office.
So technically, if you opened up a window or something, it'd be a lot better. Probably.
Yeah, but then I'd have noises like dogs and people talking outside into the podcast, and that would kind of suck.
Yeah. Well, look, I'm in a basement, and I have a whole house on top of me, and somehow people get in from the outside in terms of noise. So, this place isn't well insulated to be recording. However, I've not draped a bunch of sound absorbing things all over the place. So maybe it's that too.
Well, if I were to get network cable into my bedroom, I could record in my bedroom because it has carpet, and I can put some more stuff on there on the walls to dampen the sound even more. That would probably be better than this room, and it would be a lot cooler because you can open up the window without much trouble.
Well, yeah. Yeah, I find upstairs for the bedroom because second floor. There's clearly a better I don't know what is air circulation above like the first whatever 10, 12 feet of the house. Because if I open up the windows up there, a big old breeze that isn't present on the ground floor when you walk out the door is certainly available higher up. And so there are times where I'll just open up the windows and it just kind of, airs out the whole bedroom, and it's fantastic. Even on, today I wouldn't say 78 is terrible. That's not terrible. It's the 90-degree kind of things that really kill the house and kill me, make it uncomfortable to sleep, stuff like that. So,
well, it's mostly my own fault on my end. So,
right, because
I should have just, not rendered before doing this, and I'm thinking about getting like an air conditioning unit for the room.
Yeah.
And then just lock the room, put the air conditioning on, get it to like maybe 16, 17 degrees Celsius in here. And that would be so nice.
I bought a portable unit. The thing's heavy. It's like half my weight.
It's close to summer here, so these things are very expensive. So my plan is to do it at the end of the year. After the summer, just buy a secondhand unit, and see if get it for cheap.
Yeah, I bought one that you don't put in the window, that you just put the exhaust mechanism in the window, and you got these sort of like temporary ceiling foam things you can just wrap around the corner of it. And in my case upstairs, it sits in the window perfectly, seals up pretty well once you kind of bring the window down and sandwich it. It doesn't work so effectively in downstairs. Now, here's the thing. The unit is over 75 pounds, basically. So getting it upstairs, I couldn't. And I made an effort, and I left it near the stairs. And my roommate said, I'll just take it up. I'll do it. And I came home one day, and there was this unit sitting outside my bedroom door. And I was like, dude, well, thank you for that, but how the hell did you get that up? He's like, I'll never do that again. I said, I will pay for professionals to bring that thing down, because it was half my weight. It's probably a third of his weight, well,
if you don't need it anymore, you can just chuck it out the window.
No. It'll kill somebody. It's that heavy. It's densely packed heavy. So you can wheel it around, if you have it in the room. So if it gets really bad around here, maybe I buy another one for just downstairs. But the reason I bought it all is so that not just to perfectly chill my room, but also I can open up my bedroom door and basically it will suck and exhaust and it will take care of the temperature problem upstairs. Because the temperature upstairs is really just unregulated. AC does barely ever gets up there. It has no real major effect on it. Opening up the windows is far more effective. So I don't know. Anyhow, tangent aside from talking about all this stuff, it's the world is becoming summer-like. That's odd.
Almost
In
like
summertime,
it's a season or something.
It's like wait. I think it thinks it's probably still on spring, but regardless, it's getting hot around here, and yeah.
Got any new addicting games you're playing?
No, my addicting game is me programming basically, and that's been the extension of most of my stuff. But I know you found something new. Now
It's
let
not
me just.
new. It's not new.
Well, no, it's not a new game, but I've seen it before, and I put it on my general list of things to maybe get one day.
Oh, you didn't put it on your Steam list.
I didn't put it on a wish. I didn't put it on some active list for anyone to see. Probably no, but I keep seeing it. I'm like, do I really want to get this? Maybe. And I've seen it.
If you're a developer and if you are a person that is into Minecraft and stuff like that, you definitely want to get this game.
Yeah. So what is the game? Because we didn't say the name.
It's called Factorio.
Okay.
It's so addicting.
So give your premise. What's this addicting game that everyone must buy and disappear for the rest of the world and listen to all Polymatic podcasts again and again and again?
Well, you can listen to the Polymaticast while you're playing. That's a good thing. But Factorio. So how did I get to Factorio? So there was a video by CGP Grey where he was talking about some questions that he got, and one of the questions is how do I handle a crippling Factorio addiction? It's like, what is Factorio? Which was which was a mistake on its own, of course. So I went on Steam, looked at the game, was like, this seems interesting. So I got it. I also got it for a friend whose birthday was on Friday. So I was like, I'll just get the Factorio. And it's basically you're building a factory to get back into space. You crash landed on a planet and you want to build a factory as soon as possible and start building things and creating things. And saying it's addicting is like probably an understatement. I think that it is so addicting that I spent like an hour and a half just the first time playing it, and it was like, I've been playing for like 10 minutes, right? And then after the hour and a half, it's like, whoops. So yeah, that was it's a very entertaining game.
From what I understand, you have to build factory things and you sort of have to upgrade them in such a sense so that you can get more resources and components, not necessarily to continue to build, which I'm sure is probably an aspect of it, but also the materials you need to leave or eventually finish.
The idea is to not be crafting, not be going into mines or something, right? You have stuff that's on the ground, and you can gather those resources either by hand or by using machines. And the sooner you can get to machines, the better, because they will take you a very long time to do it by hand.
Mm-hmm.
So you need to gather wood, you need to gather other stuff, but then there's also creatures that run around that destroy your stuff.
Right.
So you have to protect against that. So you need to make guns, and with the guns, you need to make other stuff, right? Turrets and stuff to protect your base, your factory. And there's mod support, which is like, no. So we'll get to one of the videos is something about how dangerous this game is. Yeah, it's,
how addicting.
It's very addictive. Very addictive. Yeah. So if you don't want to waste a lot of time, just don't buy the game. Just don't buy it. Just don't do it. But if you like this kind of game, buy this game.
Moonbase has some aspects of this, right?
This is nothing like Moonbase.
No, but in the same respect, this is what Moonbase is not. Now, I'm not, to be fair to Moonbase, I haven't played it in a while, so I haven't gotten the latest update. I know there's been changes, and I played it for a little bit when I saw there were changes, and I did an update, I don't know, a few months ago. But I haven't really done anything with it recently, so I can't say I know harmful creatures and stuff to fight is on its list, but it's nowhere of a mass level addiction level like this thing is. Yeah, no, I mean it looks neat. I also fear playing it.
Yeah, don't do it. Don't do it.
This is before your recent awareness and addiction to it. So yeah, okay. I guess I've been making a little effort on my programming project, my side programming project that I've been trying to get through.
Are you ready to name it yet?
I have the name. You know the name. I am not gonna. No. Until
Not
it's
yet?
released,
Okay.
We're not giving the public name out. Because knowing me, it's very possible I might have a brilliant idea for a better one at that point. And yeah, so I'm probably not. I'm probably gonna commit to it. But to the point is that one of the things is I was rebuilding the UI side of this thing in UWP, which is Microsoft's most recent approach to being cross-platform UI. And when it compiles down, it compiles down natively, and you can compile it into different into different platforms, right? So I'm of the belief that you can create like a Mac version of it, right? I know I can create an Android and iOS version. Why would I want this app on those things? I can't imagine I would, but I could. I could.
Yeah.
But I think I would be more interested in producing, the Windows version of it, obviously, and then clearly a version for it that could run in Mac OS. So one of the other nice things about it is whatever the base Printum controls that you use, that you build with this thing, when they use controls like, for example, in Windows, you create something like a list view, it uses whatever the native thing that Windows uses, right? But if you compiled it down into Mac, the way this thing was built is that it's using whatever the version of that is that it's in, Mac OS. So you're using the native componentry that's inside there, so it feels natural. It doesn't look odd. So I started working with it and trying to follow the Kool-Aid rules, which is doing everything what everyone says you should do and using someone else's component. And I kind of stacked like 3 or 4 navigational components together. And the problem is they all have their sort of two-way binding behaviors that were causing me headaches. Where I want to choose something off a list and then have it fill the content pane with a bunch of controls and fill certain fields up to do certain actions and do a cascading stack of, altering a Dropbox and filling in certain values on loads and stuff like that. And so by using a control nested with another control, where they're fancy controls where they have all this feature set stuff built in, what they were doing is they're cascading circus act of clearing out their data binding nodes and then reloading all the things was causing me a headache and was making it incredibly difficult to get to the controls that I want to fill data into. And the result of this was that even if you name them, the context of which they're nested in are virtual, not static. So I couldn't get to them in a direct manner. I had to go through this effort of having a mechanism that and reverse cycle search through the element structures in the UI to find the component with the name of the thing that I wanted. And even then, there were some circus act problems that were frustrating me. And I'm like, this is not a good path. This is probably not what I should do. And then I said, you know what? F it. And I just rebuilt all the things exactly the way I want them in the same fashion, but just from the ground up, where everything is static and named, and I can just hide, show as I need, clear out, handle it is much easier. And I took the moment to do that last weekend. And here in the U.S., it was Memorial Day, so I had off on Monday. So I had several days of just rebuilding it, right? And boom. And I just straight down the line started getting into the actual, okay, how I'm going to address this issue. Put something on the thing. Okay, rename that. Okay, do this, do that, do this. So the progress started really, really happening. as of like last weekend. And so anytime I have a little micro moment and I have a thought and I can take care of something, I go ahead and I structure something out and I work on the UI of it, which is guiding how I'm going to store the data, how I'm going to save the data. Obviously, the concert of how I'm going to load data back in for this UI componentry. And then once I have all that, the rest of its internals are easy things. Things I built in the past, that will be just like a straight, hour of Allen coding. And then testing how the UI stuff works out. And then once I'm solid and I'm happy with it, I'm sure that I'm going to get ideas of how to redo the UI. But that first frustrating circus active activity was actually really kind of crucial because I storyboarded out like little things the way I want stuff to be laying out, how I want it to look. And you don't really know how it's going to evolve until you get into it. It's even like when you build a website. Like you have your general idea how you're going to structure it and you wire it up. But if you're doing anything that requires complexity, that requires more than 2 or 3 degrees of complexity, now you got to figure out your UX and the whole layout. And so that was what I needed to do, is I needed to see what the possibilities of were. And what it ended up being is my lesson I was learning is, well, some of these drag and drop controls to drop and do the things that you want are useful. Sometimes there's a level of advanced control that I do want. And it is easier to work inside that structure by using the primitive functionality of these things exactly how I would want to anyways. And, you and I are at a senior, above senior level of things. When we look at something, we take a JavaScript control that does something fancy. You look at a Polymer control. I'm sure, like me, you probably have a good idea of how it's working under the hood to achieve whatever it's doing. Mm-hmm. And you know how to deconstruct it. And if you needed to rebuild it on your own in some other fashion, you probably could. And so this is how I did that. But all of the fundamental things that UWP has, these controls are using too. So they just wrapped around their own canned control. And while having a can control version of that thing where you could, fix the problem that you want is nice. And one of the other nice things about UWP is you can take any control and then you can go ahead and say copy as, copy control as edit control, create a copy, and then you have the exact access to all its source and you can go ahead and modify it. Now I could have just fixed the problem, but then I would be spending all this time looking at someone else's code, trying to figure out, well, how'd they create that problem, right? And it was just easier for me to just replicate my own version that has the control structure that I want in a way that I can hybrid it in declaration by the XAML, and then also combined with, being able to have it stateful in the places where I want it in code. So I don't know if that makes any sense, but that was a lesson I had to learn because I hadn't really dived full into UWP yet. And so that's the advantage of having that.
And now again, you're not doing it anyway because you're, making it yourself.
Right. So I'm taking the raw pieces, and now that I have the control, the direct torque to the engine that I need, it's just easier to structure it up, and I just have to make some decisions of how I'm gonna put UI density and complexity into things, and figure out in the most base primitive ways to make that fluid and a nice user experience. So the thing that's ever present in my head is there's a level of complexity here that I'm building in that provides the usefulness, but the kind of versions of the apps that I have that are clunky and just they're very straightforward today. So you just go click, 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 click. And, you can get to where you want to be in like 5 clicks. And this offers a level of complexity that might require more clicks, and I want to be mindful of that. And so getting to the right good UX is is an iteration, and just got to start building it. And so that's kind of where I'm at. So I had my revelation, and I was grumpy about not working on it. And then I finally got to a moment where I was like, all right, no one's bothering me. It's quiet around here. Fantastic. And then I just went in, I did the hard work, and I'm in a much better place for it now. So I've built my foundation, and now I can start building my house, my town, my city. So there you go. There's my 10-minute rant. Probably 20.
So I've been working on some projects too. I've been
Yeah.
working on the new shortener, and I've been working on the artist community I have running. And I should be done with the artist community in about a month if things go on. I think I might need to have to take some more days off to work on it. But yeah, I'll probably get that done within a month.
Yeah, that's the one thing that's been nice at work, because I finally hit an anniversary, milestone. So they gave me another week of vacation stuff. So I've been slowly eating away. When I just need to take like a couple hours to go see a doctor, I just take the whole day off. So, for me, unlike you actually get to take actual days off to work on your projects. I don't have that opportunity.
Well, yeah, I have to do that because in the evenings or in the weekend, I'd rather just, veg out for a bit and do some Factorio or something.
Right, yeah, I understand.
I need to reset my brain. But the evenings, I've been doing some coding, doing some artwork too. So that's pretty good. I really like my iPad Pro. I love it. Where was the last time before?
You talked about it. You talked about
getting
I think
it.
you got it. And then the one show before that, I think you were talking about your addiction to you were going to order one because it just came out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, it was a good purchase. I'm very happy with it. So, yeah, doing some art, working on that. That's pretty entertaining. But what's something that's not really entertaining, it kind of impacts the stuff that I work on too, because I have, for example, Shortener, I have the artist community, and what's going on in the EU right now is that they're creating a new copyright filtering stuff, mandatory thing that you need to do. So everything that's uploaded needs to be checked through a filter. Everything. So they're voting on that on the 20th of this month. So the EFF did a good write up of it. So Polymatic link /IQ for that. It's they killed it 2 years ago, but now it's back. They just wanted to put it in again.
Well,
so yeah.
I think this is probably important. I don't know. Look, let's take YouTube by example. It's very difficult to moderate this level of stuff. Now, it never keeps people from finding a way to freeboot. It just is. It's what's happening. It's been happening for a long time.
But the problem here is that they want to do it with everything. So if you have your own website, you need to do that. If you comments, they need to be filtered because they want to use this for stopping hateful speech. What is hateful speech? Right? So that's the problem. They say it's to provide income for content creators, but on the other hand, they're killing content creators because they will have nowhere to upload their stuff.
Right.
Right.
And how will you determine what is hateful and what is positive? And then governments,
but
especially...
even if some idiot comes into power and thinks, well, everything that has even the slightest bit of skin in it will be banned from now on.
Yeah,
right?
then...
That's what they can do.
Yeah.
Right? Because these filters will be mandatory. And if you don't use them, you're going to get a fine. And what's even worse is there's another component to this, which is the link tax. They want to put everything you link. So if you link to an article, you have to pay the article for every person that goes through. Yep.
Okay, so that is going to be
one. It is technologically not possible. It's not feasible to do this. Two, it's freaking stupid.
It is very stupid.
And
so
they tried this in Spain, which killed their newspapers. It killed their newspapers. They did it in Germany, killed their newspapers, until they finally gave a license to Google. Okay, yeah, you can link to us for free, right? And now they want to do it in the EU wide. Well, I'm just very upset about this because this will kill Shortener, and this will kill the artist community I'm working on.
Sure, but it'll kill other link mechanisms like Bitly.
It will kill everything. It will kill the entire internet, because this will also kill everything in the US, because if somebody links to an article on an EU newspaper, they have to pay for it suddenly.
And then no one will link to anything, and no one can promote anything.
And they kill the internet.
Yep, and then
which is probably their goal.
Right. I think the reality is what could be birthed out of this is that mesh network technology will be people put real effort into it, and then they'll decentralize it, and then the internet will have killed itself. The EU will be the
murderer,
the video that killed the radio star, basically. And that will be the end of it. Now,
it will kill innovation, right?
Sure, which is exactly what they want. All governments want control, and usually are run by not modern, young, innovative individuals. And that's criticism for all governments. That's not just the one I live in. So that's always been a big problem. Our elders used to be the wise people, but the reality is
them young kids,
they're not wise anymore. They've not been wise for a long time, and they're the ones who are comfortable with dejecting change, because it serves them more than it serves the rest of you, right? The world, the person. That's why philanthropic individuals come out of nowhere to fix problems that organizations and governments and nationalism won't, because it's run by political parties, not by individuals who are willing to do something for you. And that's criticism for all of them, right? It all comes down to, I think there was a good idea when some of these started, and those people that started that idea aren't alive to maintain its growth and its proper trajectory. So that's what happens. They all fall apart. And I think we're never, at least here in the U.S., we're never more aware of how much dictatorship is in places where they say they have freedom, but they clearly don't. And it's just it's a flavor of freedom. It's a flavor of dictatorship, one way or another. And that's been happening for a long time. And so while the rest of the world agrees that's not a good thing, the dictators disagree. And they're the ones who are in control of it all. So, the EU's cluster of influence is good and bad. Hopefully this fails for them, because I think this
I hope it fails.
This is a really selfish direction for themselves.
Well, they're basically killing their own, we're killing our own innovation, right? If you're doing this, then you're not going to get your smart fridge or whatever the hell you want, right?
Right.
It's just that these they keep coming up with these kind of ideas that at some point it seems for some people that it's inevitable that's going to happen. Mm-hmm. But we need to keep finding this kind of stuff, because they just keep coming up with these crazy ideas, and these rules, these ideas, they're written by people that
aren't technologically capable.
No. The problem is that they get their ideas from lobbyists, right? So there's an idea that this might have been instigated by Google, right? This whole thing, and then the content filtering. Oh yeah, we got content filters for you. You can purchase our content filters, and right. And I don't trust Google with that, because they can't even do it at YouTube. So how would they do this for the entire EU, for everything that gets uploaded? I work for a hosting company, so I do have some. I see both sides of this. So I am a content creator. I make podcasts. I make artwork. I make other stuff, code, and I get hit 3 times. I get hit by the artwork. I get hit by the code. I get hit by the podcast because I can't link to anything anymore because it's going to cost me money every single time I link to it. What the hell? It just murders entire industries.
Yeah. Well, let's see where it goes.
Freaking lobbyists.
Yeah.
Should be forbidden.
Same thing goes on for, look, I've been aware this has been a problem. I'm someone in this world as an industry, so I know what the meaning of these things are. I was making a comment, something about local loopback as being a problem. I had a problem with something at work where the firewall software or whatever screwed up the local loopback in such a manner that was screwed up something I was doing for development. So I went to the IT guys and I had them pull the firewall off their flavor that they like, and I configured, and I still had some other problems. Some update came through and kiboshed something. So I resolved it in a different way, but I said this around my boss and my coworkers, and they didn't have any reaction, like they didn't know what I was talking about. But I later found out when I said it, they had no idea what I was referring to. Like they had no clue what I was talking about. And so my point is that I've been around the block a lot. This is not my first rodeo. I know what it is when I'm saying something random that it seems random to other people. And I am far involved in understanding what these things mean and their impact. So my long tangent for this is to roll up back into the FCC and the individual they put in charge of the FCC here in the U.S. He was a lawyer that is a part of the lobbying factors of a large, carrier.
Yep.
Telecommunications carrier here in the U.S. And you go, oh, he's got the experience. No, he has an agenda. And he has an agenda because probably several people along the way have, probably offered him lots of rewards for having their agenda to be part of his agenda. And he has he's eaten some whipped cream in the face a little bit. I say that metaphorically because I heard they're going to overturn some stuff that's going on here in the U.S. Because of the fact that so many people complained. And the reality is despite him being a lawyer and despite him serving this stuff, and he knows probably some things about the law, he had an agenda that other people made sure that assured his ability to get this job, right? It's real clear. And so while this is a factor, you look at that and you go, no, he is not your candidate. This person will have their own agenda. And he clearly did just that. And it's now biting him. And I'm happy to see it, hurt him. Again, not physically. I mean, for the decision he was making. So he's either is gonna have to get responsible and do his job correctly, despite other people's agendas, or he needs to get pushed out, and somebody who doesn't have their own agenda, MO for this, will do the actual job in the here in the U.S. because there are a ton of us technical people that know way more about this than they do. And those are the individuals that need to be put in charge of these
the problem
things.
is that those people don't really want to have anything to do with politics, which is the
of
thing.
Course.
That's
and it's
on,
also
right?
not nearly as profitable. So, serving in a political manner, which, anyhow, I don't want to get off on a larger rant. But, I mean, every government has lobbyists. And the bigger the company that becomes the de facto expert on the subject, at some point there's a distortion of what they do versus their actual intentions.
And I don't think that lobbyists are supposed to get their job in there. Like they shouldn't. It's like
right. They shouldn't be able to influence law to their advantage.
Yeah, like giving a cat control over the fish production. Right. Something stupid like that. Anyway, so if you want to know more about the upload filtering stuff and the link text that's going to impact everybody, Polymatic, the link /IQ for that. So I think we got some fun stuff to share.
Yeah, we should probably talk about fun stuff. We talked about so much negativity.
I'm gonna have to bleep some stuff.
Yeah,
Sorry.
Not me, you.
Yeah, myself for a change.
Yeah. I definitely got something. There's this channel does other things, but they've been branching out in some interesting stories occasionally. There are more on the general channel basically looks at people who are doing like tiny houses or something unique in terms of like their living space. But in this case, they did something that was really interesting. And there's this retiree who lives in Nebraska who's using a geothermal approach with greenhouses to grow oranges in Nebraska, which is mostly, a much colder environment, like, snow. So he's basically growing citrus fruit that can only be grown in the South and in tropical locations just perfectly fine in his greenhouses. So it's polymatic.link /IR. And I thought it was interesting. It's long. It's 20 minutes, but it makes you think about a lot of stuff, right? If money was not a factor. I have someone I know who gardens a lot, and he gardens, and he has this great garden, and he loves it, and he is proud of it, and he loves showing it off. But the reality, what it comes down to, is all the work, all the frustration, all the water he spends on it, all that money, all that effort is for him. And the beauty of it is for others who fall trap into getting sucked into seeing it. And I don't mean that negatively. I mean, like, it's open to the public as long as you've coordinated with him, right? It's not like any old person to come along and go do a tour and then go to his yard and look at stuff, right? It's really his private property. Duh. So my point is that, like, I was like, have we ever thought about like growing food? And his response is, oh yeah, I could probably do that, but then it'd be too much food for me. So I don't know, for me, like, if I was to make that kind of effort, I would build something like this. I would grow produce. I would grow fruit. I would grow things maybe for me, but also to sell.
Yeah, but you need to automate all that, right? So you need to put robots in.
Well, you need to take a look at what this guy is doing. That's what I'm saying. Watch the video, and he's done it without robots. He's done it with some general effort between him and maybe some other people. But it's it's really interesting. I don't know. I thought it was interesting of how the system is working for him, and this might not be completely repeatable in where you live, but you could tune it so that it does. So, yeah.
Okay. So I've been playing with the iPad Pro, and there is an application called Procreate, and it works with the Apple Pencil. But there are some tips. Polymatic link /IH for this, and it's very very useful if you use an iPad and an Apple Pencil to draw with Procreate, because there was stuff in there that I didn't know, and that saved my butt.
Yeah, you haven't discovered it yourself yet.
No, I hadn't used it much yet, so I was like, yeah okay.
It's funny how YouTube is a place where people are learning.
Yeah, right.
So there's always this thought in the back of my head. I'm not concerned about YouTube or chasing views or making content in that way. But if I wanted to, I probably could do tutorials, right, and put them up on YouTube, and that's how you can chase views, because people are looking for information and understand things and how to do stuff. And the first place they go is not to a site that educates, but to YouTube to see how people are doing things.
Yep.
It's always amazing.
You need to figure out how to decouple that heater or whatever. Go on YouTube, figure out how it works. See somebody else do it. And monkey see, monkey do.
Yeah. Indeed.
So Polymatic link /IH.
Yeah,
for that.
So I don't know if you've shared this or not. But I had it on my list for a very long time, so I pulled it out of the archive. Dad jokes with Teal'c. I'm saying that way. It's really Kratos, but it's pretty funny. Plus, Christopher Judge is awesome. So, yeah. Polymatic.link IS is
the link. That is the link.
Is the link. Indeed.
Okay. So another one for Procreate. How to create clean line art in Procreate. So Polymatic.link/II for that.
Okay. So I feel bad that I found this funny, but I did. This is basically archive footage that most people haven't seen, which is like walking on the moon in, the astronaut suit is not easy. And you can lose your balance and you can fall over. And this is a video of astronauts falling. And it's not like just a complete montage. It's, you see them how they recover eventually using the gravity. But it's it is a laugh. It's funny. I just never would have thought you see you see people in their astronaut suits on the moon just hopping around. Well, they do fall over. Polymatic.link/IT.
I was looking for the song "Frolic" from that TV show to start playing at some point.
Oh, okay.
Curb Your Enthusiasm. The end of Curb Your Enthusiasm. It was like this song.
I don't know the song.
So I was looking for that to start playing at some point because you see that a lot recently because there's like lots of videos of like the guy from who's the Stormy Daniels lawyer. You see there's a video of him and that song playing. It's pretty funny. But yeah.
Yeah. So that was Polymatic.link/IT.
Yeah. Next up is something that's slightly explicit. There's a not suitable for work warning on it. Hank Green eats a sandwich and talks about the mystery wolf-like thing in Montana.
I watched the whole thing, but I was coding.
That ending is so good. Polymatic.link/IJ for that. Yeah. Very cool.
I enjoy Hank's channel when he gets raw.
Not safe.
He's not far different than well, okay, maybe I'm a little more focused on my tangents, but but you can see where clearly he doesn't make this and then edit it down and make that a Vlog Brothers thing. When he does whatever he's doing with that, he has a far more calculated set of thoughts that he's targeting towards. But this is just him turning on the camera and making a video for his own channel.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was Polymatic.link/IJ.
Yep.
Which doesn't have iJustine in it. Okay. Invasion of the Bendy Tripod. Also in my list of archive list for a while. This is just like if you've ever seen Casey Neistat and you've been following him long enough through the trajectory of his success as a vlogger. He takes like a Joby tripod. He's got like that one that can hold 6 pounds. I have one of them as well. And then he just kind of bent it in a certain way, and he used that as his tripod that he would hold with him for his stabilizer, more or less, for everything. That's how he would hold the weight of the 10 pounds of stuff that, that is his camera. So other people found this out, and then they started to replicate what Mr. Neistat was doing, and, I'm going to be Neistat, and, thinking that was the solution to the photography to be like his vlogs. But it's still a very good tripod. It's not good if you need something static, but it's good if you just, you need to carry something and you need to wrap it around a tree or a pipe, or you need to wrap it around, fencing or something like that. This tripod, the Gorilla tripod, by Joby is fantastic, and the larger one holds way more weight. And so all of a sudden, Casey Neistat's using it, and he had been basically not a prophet, but people are like, oh, oh, maybe I should go and try one of those. And then it turned into all the major vloggers doing the same thing.
Yeah.
So someone made the Gorilla Pod basically a monster in everyone's vlog.
Yeah. Well, I've had a couple of them in over the years.
I've had small ones, and then I have that larger one, and then I think the one KC has is maybe the next model up. It obviously is a more recent version of it. I bought mine. I don't know, real long time ago.
I think I bought mine in the U.S.
Yeah, we have a micro center over not far from where I live, and I couldn't find them anywhere. Amazon didn't have them, Best Buy didn't have them, camera shops didn't have them, but micro center had it, and so I was like, I bought mine. The only next step was to buy it directly from Joby, but now they're everywhere, which is fantastic. So I don't know. I thought it was funny. Someone made this video. I give them props for turning the tripod into a horror film.
Tell them what the name of the video is.
Invasion of the Bendy Tripod. The link is polymatic.link/IU, as in universal.
Yeah. So I was trolling my subscription feed, and I saw that Captain Sparkles, aka Captain Spookles, or Jordan, or Jardon, or whatever his name is now. They keep messing up his name, but he's doing a new vanilla Let's Play with the new snapshot. It's called The Deep End. That's what he calls the series, and he has lots of fun with the what was it, the new mob that comes after if you don't sleep. So it's very entertaining. Okay. Polymatic.link/IK for that.
Okay. There's been lots of changes to Minecraft that I am not aware of. This next one is a laser cut mini boat. Pretty sure this is a tested video.
Yes.
And so again, I pulled this out of the archive. There's lots of good videos in my archive for you guys, to see, to know about. But this has been around for a while, but they found somebody who I believe has a kit that you can buy where you can build your own mini boat. And it's made out of laser cut wood. And
seeing Norman in that boat, and then it looks like one of those shopping mall thingies where they just move the kid around, right?
Yeah.
Back and forth.
But it works. The thing works. And so it's pretty
interesting.
Looks
really, really, really
I don't know
silly.
but I don't know what the kit costs. But anyhow, polymatic.link/IV.
Yeah. Very entertaining. So next one, they sent the Rosie to space. Well, air quotes space. Polymatic.link/IM for that.
And obviously, for those who don't know The Expanse and John's obsession with The Expanse, the Rosie's from The Expanse.
Yeah, they tried to cancel the show, and then Amazon picked it up.
Yeah. Well, I bought it. I bought it from Amazon as full season, right? So that's
going to be a Prime show.
And now it's going to just show up for free. So I don't know if Amazon's going to go around and say, "Hey, here's your $30 back."
Well, it's going to be
credit.
I don't know if they're going to put the first three seasons on there.
Yeah. Well, I've been buying them per season. So
yeah.
I as it comes as a new season, I just spend $25 or $30 or whatever it is at the top of the season, and then it's mine. Then I can play it back. Now I don't have to buy it anymore. Now it gets rolled up into the stuff. Well, Amazon has had a lot of misfires with producing really good productions. I don't know that they really have a strong team of individuals at the helm trying to produce things like Netflix is trying to. Now, Netflix has a lot of misfires too. But with that said,
this show is not a misfire, right?
No. I didn't say that. I'm just saying is that this hasn't been their business of producing really good, amazing shows. They've produced some shows that have been pretty good. They've also produced a lot of shows that aren't good at all. So this hasn't been their area where they are the best at yet. But I think adding it to their arsenal will be a good thing. So that's where I was going with that. So And that was polymatic.link/IM.
IM.
As in marry. As in.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. This one, I didn't put a not safe for work flag on it, but maybe
I can probably retroactively do that for you if you want.
Yeah, but I'm calling it banana shirt. It's funny. It centers around an adult topic, but they actually never actualize the adult topic. Maybe they don't actually actualize the adult topic. It's adult-like, but it's not. A kid won't ever understand this. It's not for kids. Polymatic.link/IW.
Okay, so the next one is send Rosie to Mars, because I got a MOVA globe, and I got the Rosie little model, and I put the MOVA globe at the back, and then put the Rosie model in the front of it, and then made a little 3-minute video.
How's
so
it doing?
Polymatic.link/IL for that.
Yeah, those things are neat. I haven't looked online to see if I should get some, but
about $150.
Yeah, it's still pretty neat. Yeah. Also from my archive, the soy bottle, the soy sauce bottle, the design about it. I thought it was interesting. Polymatic.link/IX. If you are curious, there you go.
And now something we talked about before, but Factorio is a dangerous game. Polymatic.link/IN.
Is this indeed the video that you watched that started it all?
No, definitely not. No. Okay. We got some music. I got Easily Embarrassed. I dove down their music. Polymatic.link/IO and IP. I really liked that song. Polymatic.link/IP.
Okay. So I've been trying not to share artists I've shared before, but there's a lot of these artists that I've shared in the past that are releasing new good things. And/or some of the artists, because they're kind of, most of the stuff that I listen to lately has been mostly pop music or some version of degree of EDM and electronic. They seem to cross over with other artists. So Anna Clendenning is an artist that's been producing more things, and so with the times I don't have a new artist, it's because I've been listening to new music by the artists that I do like. And so this is a video that she did for a song that she did with Valvatine, I guess, called "Be Here." It's pretty good. There was another one I couldn't find a good video search, but anyway, that was Polymatic.link/IY, and I do recommend you find her on Spotify. Most of these things are on Spotify. "Be Here" is a really good song, and so as a result of that, I've taken away my general personal rule of try not to duplicate. I will try to always share new artists over sharing people that have released new tracks. But like I said, month of May, people are starting to release some new things, and and so I it's gonna happen. So probably next show I'm gonna have a couple more artists that have been putting out some really new good things, new releases into the world that you can buy. So that was Polymatic.link/IY. And then another artist that I discovered, I don't know, maybe a year or two ago, at this point, Flurry, she has another song called Consolate that she's been sort of promoting. I guess a new album, new EP is coming. Polymatic.link/IZ. She's been pushing a lot of stuff. You can hear it on Spotify. This is an animated video. So I linked you out to YouTube. And that was Polymatic.link/IZ. And then another artist I was surprised that I never shared anything about. Maybe she's always been on my list. She made some albums. She made them a little bit regularly, and then she kind of took a break. She just hasn't released anything in a long while. And so she is on the precipice for this month of releasing new songs. But she still has a lot of good ones. So here's a crossover with another EDM group where she's the feature with Pop Culture. And it's Polymatic.link J0. J0. Polymatic.link/J0. And I forgot to put the title in, but it's still a good song. Go over to the link, find out. It's a good song. And then one of her songs from her last album called Haze. The song's called Haze, not the album. And that's polymatic.link/J1.
And that's the same singer.
Same artist, yeah. Tessa Violet. She was a vlogger. She decided to do some music as a side thing. Took off. She did some touring. There is another independent artist that is making a U.S. tour soon. I'm not going to say because I don't think it's been officially announced. You might see her tag along. That's it. That's all I can say without saying anything at all. But so she's she's pretty good. I like her sound. I don't know if it's a sound you like. I think those two tracks you might like, John. But there are other ones that are, I guess it's more poppy than not. She's not doing grunge rock. It's not her thing. I'm not really, I think I've heard her do some live streaming of the new songs, but I've not heard the production versions yet. So, I'm following her. I'm supporting her on Patreon right now so that she has enough to tour and, at least in the U.S. and produce, the record. And then once it's available and released, it will be available digitally and everything. And I'm pretty sure it's coming this month of June.
Okay. So next up, I have a book recommendation. Oh, I don't know if it's a good book yet, but looking at the older books, the previous books in this series, it's going to be pretty good. So Craig Allenson has the book series called The Expeditionary Force, where there's an alien AI that helps a pretty sometimes dumb colonel. It's pretty entertaining. And he released book 6 called Mavericks on Amazon as an ebook. Polymatic.link/J3, and the audiobook is going to come soon. So, yay! Looking forward to that. So go check it out. So I think that's it for today.
I think that's plenty.
It's fast though. Yeah. So Alan, where can they find you?
You can find me on Twitter, CHAESS. It's my last name.
You can find me on Twitter as well at WebDevy, WEBDEVVIE. For feedback, you can reach us at podcast@Polymatic.media. Please don't send spam, because there's been people that are sending spam. Like they're the new product that they want to use for podcasters. No, I'm not interested. So, for feedback, send us email. The music is by Say Uns, which you can find at Polymatic.link/EK for our Twitter, The Polymatic. The website is Polymatic.media, and I hope you tune in next time.